What's going on, it's the RapNerd, and I am here today to talk about the movie Deliverance and another film called The Demon House. Deliverance released over the weekend on Netflix, and it stars Andrea Day and Glenn Close, and it's directed by Lee Daniels. The film follows a family with the mom trying to put the pieces back together with her kids and her mother, who is Glenn Close, who's living with her. But as they lived in this new house that they move in, a lot of different demonic and evil things start to happen, and it's up to Andrea's character to figure out what's going on. And for full transparency, anytime you see me duck off in my closet to do a video, that means it's late as hell at night and I don't want to wake my family up. Sometimes when thoughts hit my brain, I just have to dump them or it's going to keep me up. So just want to put that out there when you see videos like this, because I'm pretty sure there are going to be a ton more like this in the future. Now, this movie is based on a true story, and it's one of the reasons why I chose to just talk about this film, because I watched it with my wife over the weekend, and I can say I thought it was just, I do give it some respect because Lee Daniels is not a horror director, but I can tell that he did his best to make a creepy horror film, and he treated the genre with respect. And I can tell that's kind of who this film is made for. It's made for the folks who are not avid horror film watchers like myself. I watch horror year round, so I've been there, done it, seen it all when it comes to demonic films. And this didn't do much of anything that I haven't seen, and the execution wasn't nearly as great as or good as stuff that I've seen before. But again, I give it props because he made a horror film within the type of films that he makes. Like, I can watch this movie and tell that Lee Daniels is a fan of the genre, but he just isn't really aware of how the genre operates to make something super effective. And that goes with the cast and crew as well. Everybody here gave their all to make the best movie possible. So again, this is not me being backhanded or trying to shit on the movie at all. So first thing about Deliverance, one reason I had to talk about it is because of the iconic imagery of Glenn Close being possessed and having some choice words, which I will not repeat here. And just the fact that she looks like a stereotypical white woman that only deals with black men. I'm trying to figure out how the hell Lee Daniels talked her into doing this, because I just found her in this movie to be hilarious. Her look is crazy, yo. And there's just a lot of funny things going on. Like, Omar Epps is in this movie to solely be a friend with benefits to Glenn Close, which I also found just like, what the hell is the point of that? And I'm just going to stop there because I don't want to make this a roasting session about the movie, but I just had to talk about those things. In fact, I'm doing this video to even pump more life into the movie, because if you've seen the title and you're aware of the things in the title, then you already know where I'm going. But if you're not, I'm going to send you down a rabbit hole. The real reason I'm here, and why I did find some enjoyment out of it, even though I didn't think it was the greatest at all, is because of the backstory and what this film is based on. In the opening shot, it says, this is based on true events. I'm going to refer you to this other movie called The Demon House. Now, this is like a documentary / full-length film, and it's just one long episode of Zak Bagans' Ghost Adventures. Now, if you don't know what that show is, Zak Bagans is a guy who has about 25 seasons of Ghost Adventures. He's a paranormal detective, so he goes to different places, uses different machines to speak to ghosts and trying to figure out what's going on in these haunted areas, which all of the seasons are on Max right now. I'm a huge fan of that show. On this particular special, which, turned into a movie, and it's on Tubi right now if you want to watch, it's about this house and the Deliverance. Like, they switch up some things, like locations and all of that, but it's based on the Demon House. And I just put it on thinking it was just the regular Ghost Adventures, little bumps in the night, a little bit spooky, also a little bit funny because the dialogue that Zach and his crew talk with are just over the top. And I just found it hilarious. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong about the Demon House. Demon House is literally the most frightening ghost hunter type material that I've ever seen. I had nightmares the day after. You have to see it for yourself. I can sit here and describe it to you, but you gotta see it. And I also don't want to spoil it, but this house, there have been multiple families that have lived here and they moved out because of bad energy from demonic forces that just keep forcing people to leave, because whenever they move in, some type of spirit of something dark just attaches itself to the whole family and just makes them go crazy. So Zach, being the baller he is off all of these seasons, he buys this house and decides to do his own ghost adventure on it. He does have a crew that is there with him for a portion of the time. But instead of the usual thing he does, that he'll go to a house overnight and he'll stay there with a crew, he decides to stay there by himself. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. Holy shit. Oh. I'm getting goosebumps. Hold up. He does a stakeout in this house by himself, and he sets cameras up all around the house. He sets microphones up, and I am floored by what happens here and just the things that go on in the aftermath of the whole thing. It leads you back to the end of Deliverance as to what happened with this house. Like, it says what it says at the end. Just know that what it says is based on Zach because of what his experience was here. And I feel like this is the perfect time to watch it with spooky season. If you want some real life terror, watch The Demon House. Once you watch that, it might add a little something to Deliverance, because that's what made that movie interesting. And honestly, that's what made me want to watch Deliverance in the first place, knowing that it's based on this movie, The Demon House. Let me know in the comments if you've seen Deliverance. What do you think about that film? And if you've seen The Demon House, what do you think about that film as well? Because that shit is just mind-boggling crazy, yo. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.